Hello and welcome and greetings from the Mosel. Thank you for joining us today to our little podcast here. Today our topic is the Mosel and its side rivers Saar and Ruwer. Many people know the Mosel as a wine region, and many people also know that there is Saar and Ruwer. And the connoisseurs amongst the Mosel lovers, of course, they know also the difference between the three rivers and the wines that grow there. And it's really worthwhile to try and compare these wines because they all have one thing in common. They are elegant Rieslings, as elegant as can be, but there is a difference, and it's a great fun to compare the difference between those locations, those parts of the Mosel wine region. First of all, the Mosel, as the biggest river, is embedded in between two middle range mountain chains. In the north we have the Eifel Mountains. It's Eifel, almost like Eiffel Tower, but with just one F. And in the south we have the Hunsrück Mountains. Hunsrück comes from Hans Beck, the Mongolian tribe. The Huns settled there, and since it's a mountain, it's the Hans Beck. That all happened during the people's movement in the 7th or 8th century after Christ. And this mountain still carries this name because of the Huns. The Mosel River starts in France and it flows north first. It starts in Alsace, in the Vosges Mountains, and it flows a few hundred kilometers north, and then it turns northeast and flows in between Luxembourg and Germany into German countryside, and it flows through a very windy valley over the length of about 220 kilometers. All the way northeast into the Rhine, where it ends at a city called Koblenz, which has a Latin origin. Koblenz comes from confluence, the flowing together. So that's where the Mosel joins the Rhine. All along the Mosel we have steep hills. The soil is slate. In the Mosel it's mostly blue slate, but you do find some gray slate further down in the terrace Mosel. There's some spots where you have red slate, which has a bit more iron content. That's where the red brownish color comes from. And that's mainly the soil structures that we have. Mosel wines have a great exotic fruit, more of almost like a Baroque kind of appearance, very juicy, very tropical fruit driven. And the wines are a bit more, you could call it bold or flamboyant than the Saar and Ruwer wines. And in the Saar, where you have a higher elevation, which means it's cooler, you also have stronger temperature difference from day to night, because the middle range mountain chain of the Hunsrück Mountains is a cool mountain chain. It consists of a lot of quartz ribs that chill the environment, and at night when the sun is gone, the cold air from the Hunsrück flows into the Saar Valley and chills the environment. So you have quite a strong temperature amplitude from day to night. And that makes the wines even more elegant, gives them a more lightweight frame. And the soil is mostly a gray or red, harder slate soil, which gives a lot of the minerality, a lot of the salty finish to the wines, but also more floral and spicy notes. You have some elderflower, lilac, some violets, some lavender. So all these blossom, floral, sweet blossom notes is what you find in the wines. And in the Ruwer, there's a lot of the red slate, but also some gray slate. And here you have more of brown spices, some of the herbal notes, herbs like woodruff, like nettles, a little bit like chamomile, a little bit like anything you would think of when you think of, for example, herbs in a nice herb liqueur, for example. So these herbal notes and spicy notes like clove, nutmeg, white pepper, maybe some anise, and all this is dominant in a Ruwer wine. So as you can see, there's a lot to explore in the Mosel. It's almost like a fantasy land for wine lovers, especially of Riesling lovers. And it's my home area, and I invite you, come and see us, come and visit Mosel, Saar and Ruwer, see the difference of the wines in the 3 different areas and amongst all the different vineyard sites. Fantastic, picturesque, almost mind-boggling steep vineyard sites. Come and taste the wines, and I'd be happy to see you here. And at this point, I say greetings from the Mosel and hope to see you in the next spot. Thank you. Bye-bye.